come on, hand. Today we will get, all emotional and talk about our feelings and stuff. I bet you have experienced all kinds of emotions in your life before, but do you know who, what, where, or why? So, let's define these emotions. So emotions are a natural, instinctive state of your mind, like your brain parts. And these happen from the interactions with others and our own experiences. So in other words, this is how we feel because of things that have happened to us. But this does not really help understand what the emotion is. We should understand the basics of emotions like ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, and mama and dada and those other things too. Now there are all kinds of maps or lists of basic emotions. Lots of people getting their 2 cents in, but I think they ought to check notes or something because they're not the same. And that's enough to completely confuse a person because they're all different out there. And most people are confused anyways. And they're also emotional in their own special way. So we're going to keep it simple and talk about 6 of them. Happy, sad, surprise, fear, oh my goodness, disgust, oh that is disgusting, man, and anger, that makes me so angry. Let's get a better understanding of all the emotions by defining them individually. And Hand, he's going to help with some cool little eyebrows that he made to help it make more sense. Oh, look at my face and my eyebrows. I am happy. There are a lot of happy feelings out there, and it's just nice that there are so many that we can be happy about. But, to define it, it is a feeling or showing good or contentment. And contentment, well, that is being okay with how something is, like my cool eyebrows. So, if I could get a lovely treat, I would be so happy. Or say you get finished eating something of your favorite food. You too would be happy and content and be like, oh, yes, I feel so fat and happy. This is great. Oh, now I am sad. Look at my pouty eyebrows. So most sad feelings are close to the same. Sadness is feeling or showing sorrow or being unhappy. Like when I really want to go on a walk in the rain, but no one will take me because after I will shake and get water everywhere, and that makes me sad when I cannot do it. Or if you miss out on playing a game you really want to play, but you understand you can't, and you're like, oh, that makes me sad. I wanted to play that game, and now I'm sad. Oh, look at my surprised eyebrows, they're in my ears and stuff. They went way up there. This is mostly learning something that you didn't know. So surprise is an unexpected or astonishing event, fact, or a thing. When you get home early, and I wasn't thinking you were coming home yet, and I'm like, oh, you surprised me. I was eating this cushion over here. Hello. Or you come walking into your house and it's all dark, and suddenly everybody's like, surprise! And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have a heart attack. Oh, hi, I know you guys. This is great. I was so surprised at first. Oh, I am so afraid. I'm afraid my eyebrows will fall off. So fear is an unpleasant feeling that, something or somebody is dangerous and, might cause harm or hurt our feelings or something like that. And we are afraid of it. Like when the mailman comes to the house and I'm like, oh, I don't know this guy. I have to wait. And I see him coming from far. And he's coming up from far. And I'm like, bark, 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 bark. Hey, we don't want your 2-for-1 coupons. I'm afraid of you. Get out of my house. Oh, it is disgusting how my eyebrows look. It is that feeling of being sick when you're like, So disgust obviously is a feeling of revulsion or a strong disapproval of something or someone unpleasant or offensive. Oh, dude. Oh, I can't take you chewing with your mouth open. Wait, is that steak? Ah, but it is still disgusting to chew with your mouth open. Or when you see gross things and you start to feel like, blah. Like what happened before. Anger. Ah! I'm a grumpy hornet. Look at my eyebrows. So it is when you just can't believe what is going on, and it makes you so frustrated because you're like, I can't change any of this. I want to change it all. So, obviously, anger is a strong annoyance or displeasure pleasure, or hostility. I am angry that you do not believe that it is time for me to eat. Or, oh, you took my doll and won't give it back. That makes me so angry. Oh, so now that we know the basics, why do we have all these different feelings? Well, emotions, they're the ways in which we process the stimulus that we encounter every single day. This means something happens to us, there is a reaction. Not like, equal and opposite like physics, or like combustion like chemistry, like go boom! But I guess sometimes your emotions go boom. It is a feeling more than like a physical change, But that is not to say that a feeling won't cause a physical change. Like we saw with the eyebrows that Han made. Often there will be a change that happens, like how we act, based on the emotion that we are feeling at the time. Or maybe we're like slumping on the couch because we're all sad. Or maybe we're bouncing around like hopping and skipping and, oh, I'm so happy. Or we're like, oh, I gotta play more sports to burn off all the anger. Now the really cool thing, we can choose, at least to some degree, how we react to the emotions that we have. It is not all completely set. Just because we are angry, it doesn't mean we need to act on that emotion. As we develop and grow, we are able to control ourselves. Sometimes, not so much. And by learning to control how we react, we can behave better. And then we get treats. But again, for some people, their brains don't obey them and let them control themselves. There is a difference of controlling or handling one's emotions and being fake about it. We should never be fake. We gotta be real to how we feel. If we are fake about it, it's like lying to ourselves. And in the long run, it doesn't help. It only makes things worse most of the time. But there are acceptable levels of expressing emotion. So sometimes we gotta hold back, and other times we gotta let it go. But there are still acceptable levels of expressing our emotions. We can't be like crazy and going, I'm so grumpy, I fear everything, my life is a ruined mess. But for those who struggle with emotion responses and the stimulus they encounter, just remember, we are all different. We all have different things that we are going through and different ways in which we learn to deal with those things. It is okay to have such struggles. Sometimes we need to understand it is okay to ask for a little bit of help in being able to balance ourselves. And from time to time, we all experience a little bit of like on the teeter-totter and the big kid, you're up high and the big kid's not letting you down and you're like, hey, I want to get down. But they won't let you down and you're stuck up there in a panic and you suddenly realize you're going to have to spend the rest of your life on top of the teeter-totter. And you're like, oh, I wish I had brought more food. I'm going to have to ration this cracker. This can be what happens for some with their emotions from time to time. They're up and down on the teeter-totter, and they're stuck sometimes on the top, and sometimes they're back down low, and they're okay, and sometimes they're in the middle, and they're questioning what their reality is. And emotions often show out from the needs that we have, There are some things that aren't being met sometimes when we're having all kinds of crazy emotions. Maybe we need more attention. Like, can we go on 5 walks a day and have my needs met? Or perhaps we need more interaction and support from others around us. Kind of like, the support right now that I'm getting from Han. He is so supportive. And not having our needs met means sometimes things bottle up inside of us. Like when you go to get the ketchup and it's not coming, so you have to hit it harder and you try, and then suddenly, and basically the whole bottle comes out all at once. So if we hold back our emotions, they too can get stuck. So we'll be emotionally uncomfortable, like, ooh, I'm bloated with emotions. And they will eventually explode all over on somebody. So we will be like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to get my emotions all over you. I'm so sorry. We can talk to others to help figure it out. They can talk to us and we talk to them. And they say, oh, I'm having this struggle. And say, I've had that struggle too. And we can have common grounds and understand one another better. And it'll be great. Or we might have to go to a place and pay somebody money who's professionally trained to deal with those kinds of things that we do not understand. And we're sitting here and we're laying down on the couch and we're, oh, this is not a comfortable couch at all. And they're like, oh, yes, that is to make sure you don't sleep on it. I want to know about your feelings, not have you napping. Tell me about your mother. These places are counseling services and they help lots and lots of people all the time. And sometimes there are doctors there that will sometimes prescribe medications if you're really having some big troubles that are very hard to overcome, that need more attention than just your standard, like, okay, pat on the back, you're off and ready to go. But that doesn't mean that they have problems necessarily, but that they need a little bit more help, and that is okay, because, we all need a little more help. So, there are several basic lists. Then we spoke of a list today of happy, sad, surprise, fear, disgust, and anger. We all have different experiences, which means we all have different ways in which we handle our emotions. We can learn to control our emotions, but still, from time to time, we will struggle, and that is okay. But we all struggle a little bit from time to time, and sometimes we may need more help and talking to somebody that we can trust and helping figure our brains out. And at other times, we might need actually a little medication to help heal and deal with things. And it's okay that we have our own struggles and experiences. That is why everyone is different, and that makes us great. Keep your minds open and your ears too. Go and learn things. It's good for you. Bye. Oh, my feelings! Basic maps for emotions? That, like, a pirate map? Confused? No, that is not one of them. You gotta get the list right, Ned. You're confused yourself. Crud, go away. Come on, make this happen. Let's try that one more time. But, still struggles from time to time. Just like I'm struggling right now trying to say this. Ned, you gotta try that one over and over until you get it right.